guys, and welcome to a new feature on my channel, which will be girl talk. So every so often I'm going to invite people like my friend Hoy here,
hello,
probably girls, to have some girly chat, and we're going to talk about all sorts of subjects, some silly and some serious.
private.
Yeah, quite private. I'm going to be quite intrusive and nosy as usual. And today we're going to be talking about boobies, the jubblies, the chesticles, whatever. What do you call them?
Tits.
Oh, tits.
Straight in there.
Straight in there with the tit talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just going to talk about, you know, our first experiences with our boobs. That sounds wrong. I mean, let's start. Okay, when did you first realise they were coming?
After every single one of my friends, I had no boobs up until probably year 8. How old are you in year 8?
12?
Yeah.
About that, I think, 12.
And well, maybe even later than that, maybe year 9. And my friends used to take the mick out of me because I didn't used to wear a bra to school. You could probably see my nipples through my shirt.
They were quite translucent, those shirts,
so I think,
yeah.
oh shit.
Oh god.
I probably could see them through my shirt, but now I have the biggest boobs out of all of my friends. So, but I'm not 100% happy with that. You know, I've told you before that I'd like smaller boobs.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, because I want to draw on the fact that you said, like, you were a late bloomer and you didn't have boobs. Apart from being embarrassed about not having, like, a bra, was that because you didn't feel you fitted in, or because you didn't feel grown up enough? What was it that...
To be honest, I didn't care when they would take the mickey, because I would just look down at my chest and be like, well, I knew that bras were meant to hold something up.
Yeah.
You weren't just meant to wear one.
Yeah.
So when they said, I was like, well, I don't have any boobs, and they all had boobs at the time.
So you kind of got fair dues.
Yeah.
What about in terms of feeling, you know, attractive to the people that you wanted to be attractive to? In your case, men. Were you worried that they weren't into you as much because you didn't have boobs? Was that a thought that you had?
No,
never.
Not at that stage.
I've
never wanted big boobs. That thought has never crossed my mind. Even when I didn't have them, I never wanted them.
See, that reminds, because I was always a really skinny child, I was teased about being like twig-like, having stick-like limbs and stuff like that, and I didn't have them for a while, and then they came through and they were reasonably big and noticeable. And I remember being so embarrassed about finally having boobs, particularly around my dad and my brother, and just at home, that I used to walk like almost like concave, like hunchback, and like hide it in baggy t-shirts. Yeah. I didn't mind amongst my friends or anything at school, but amongst my family I found it really cringe, and I don't know why that is. It's like I almost didn't want to let them know I was now a woman and maybe was having sexual I don't know what it was, but I remember being embarrassed about it. Do you remember when you first felt them come through?
I felt the lump.
Yeah.
I remember feeling the lump and being panicked because I thought, oh my god, what is that?
Is it normal?
You think it's something dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that moment, and then I think I just Googled it, or I spoke to my friends.
Google
Maybe that
running computers.
Maybe that wasn't Google when I was like, no, there must have been.
There might have been like Smash Hits problem page or something. Do you know what I mean?
But no, I think I must have spoken to a friend, and I was alright. But no, I remember the little hard balls.
They're like, it was like a little pebble that would gradually get bigger.
Like, yeah.
And I used to like almost play with it just to see what was happening with it now. And but it did scare me a little bit. Yeah.
But no, now I just wish I was, well, not flat-chested, because I think that's a bit dramatic, maybe. But then,
it's funny, I think
but then I'll probably still love it, because, you know, I've always been a summer girl.
Yeah.
And I just love being in just a plain top, shorts, that's it, and just with nice thin straps.
Carefree.
As if I didn't have boobs, I could just do that.
I know, I have those thoughts sometimes because my boobs fluctuate like massively between, I don't know, maybe C and then to double Ds, like they fluctuate all the time. So then when they're in their small stage, they look a bit deflated and I don't like them then, but when they're big they feel really weighty and heavy. But either way, I always need to wear a bra to either lift them or support them. And it really does interfere with your fashion choices. Like, you can't wear all the outfits you want to wear. You've got to think about, you know, hiding straps and stuff like that. So I find myself envying those people that do have either the really pert, uppity ones or the people that have barely any boobs. And I think maybe it's just a case of you always want what you don't have, or you're intrigued about what you don't have. You'd like to try having smaller boobs, and people with small boobs probably sometimes think, oh, I'd like to try having big boobs.
I think I'd like to be a B, or like a 30. I'm a 32 double D/E now, but I think I'd like to be a 32 C.
Do you know what? For me, I don't think it's even about the size. I just like them to look different. Like, this might be going a bit too far, but like, when they're out of their bra, when they're free and loose, what do you think of your boobs?
I'm alright with them.
You're quite happy. Like,
but I mean, yeah, my boobs, apart from the size, have never been much of an issue.
See, I used to be fine with mine, but as I said, because of the fluctuation and the stretching back and forth, it's affected the look of them. I'm just not as happy with them anymore, confident about them, and I'm definitely someone now that does, you know, cover up when I'm walking around, and I'd never ever go topless on a beach with my friends. Would you go topless with your friends?
I think so.
You would. Oh, see, I envy that.
My nipples are quite high, so even though my boobs, I mean, I wouldn't say they're saggy, but when they when they're unsupported and they droop down, because my nipples are quite high, it's almost like an optical illusion that it looks like they're higher.
That's the dream. That is the dream. I always think,
if the nipple was down here, then they would look sad. Do
you remember at school when people used to talk about the pencil test, about, you know, whether your boobs are saggy, if you could hold a pencil? I remember thinking, and I was like, I can probably do that now. And does that mean they're not attractive? And it doesn't mean that they're not attractive, because like, it shouldn't be what a guy thinks of your boobs anyway. That shouldn't be what dictates whether you're happy with your body or anything, but it does have an effect. And I have to say, most blokes I've been with, they really don't care. They play with anything. They don't mind what size, what they look like. They might have preferences, but they're just happy to play with a body, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess it is hard to comment when you don't have small boobs. I'd love to understand how women feel that are flat-chested.
Yeah, whether they don't feel like they have femininity because of it, or whether they feel like I look fit and athletic, and that's nice.
Yeah, because I bet there's a lot of women that do like having nothing.
Yeah, because what I hate about having boobs is when you're getting, let's say, activity is happening, you know, they move about, they go in different directions, which aren't always flattering.
Bounce around.
They can sometimes clap, which is not what you want. And I sometimes think it'd be nice not to have that. And if they're like firm, smaller ones, you wouldn't get that. But then I see big, juicy ones that are far bigger than mine. I think, cool, they look great as well. So, it's a weird one.
Yeah.
What about the first time someone commented on your boobs? And who was that? Do you remember it? Like, was there a boy at school or a relative that went, oh, you've grown up, or something like that?
No.
No, you don't remember.
Like, for some reason, my boobs have never really come up in much conversation. I think maybe because a double D is quite average size, maybe.
I don't even know what the average is these days.
I think, But it's probably like C to D.
Right.
And because I hide them very well. So if I think if I was to wear low cut tops, people would be like,
wowza.
What they didn't know they existed. But I hide them very well, so it looks like I'm small on top.
Now, why do you hide them? Because neither of us are people that get our boobs out that often. Like, we're not people that wear low cut tops all the time. Or why do you think that is?
I've never worn a low cut top. I think it's because I've not because I think it looks strange. I think because I've always been quite tomboy and I guess I like to dress quite boyish, and the clothes that I like are all baggy.
Yeah, like boys.
then
then
I just I hide them.
So it's never been because you don't want to be judged or viewed in a certain way, maybe in a sexual way. It's not because of that. It's purely you like fashion that is more boyish, and that's it.
Yeah, I think if you want to wear low cut tops, then do it. I don't think it makes anyone look any more sexual, because at the end of the day they're there for an important reason.
That's more the other person's issue. If they see them in that way and they ogle them in that way, that's their issue. I don't get them out that often because like you, I have a lot of male friends and I've always hung out with boys. I think a few times that I did, dress very girly or get the tartars out, like I got some comments and it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, because I'm not someone that kind of likes attention. I'd much rather slink in quietly to parties, slink out quietly, not get noticed. So in fact, someone pointed out a part of my appearance and made a point of drawing attention to it. That made me go, oh God, I'll put them behind them. I don't want them out anymore. So I think maybe that's why I don't get mine out that often, and because I don't really like them anymore.
Yeah. I just don't feel myself when I'm wearing something fitted and low cut, because that's just not what I like.
Yeah.
I thought, what was I wearing the other day that Matt commented, and we were having dinner. I was wearing something that was tight, because he never sees me in tight stuff. Bless him.
Poor lad. Deprived.
And I was wearing something. I think it was like a polo neck, so I didn't have my cleavage out, but it was really fitted.
Yeah.
And we were having dinner, and I just looked over and I just caught him having a stare.
Yeah.
I was like, "You right?" And he was like, "Oh, nothing."
What's
What were you looking at?
Sure, he enjoyed the fact you shared that story.
And he was just like, "Oh, I'm just looking at your boobs." Oh, thanks.
Cheers.
Well, and because he never has the opportunity to comment on them, because I'm always dressed like a boy. Well, not a boy, but
tomboy. Now, would you ever get surgery on your boobs if maybe you were slightly smaller chested? Would you have had implants, do you think, or is that something you don't think you'd know unless you're in that situation?
Yeah, I don't think I would know.
I don't think there's anything wrong with people getting implants, because I think it's your body. If you know, I think you know what's right for it. Obviously, I think you should just check that you haven't got issues with, confidence because of toxic people in your life or any, body dysmorphia or anything like that. But if you generally feel that it would make you happier and more confident, I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all.
One of my friends, she had a boob job. And I didn't know, and I think when she was completely flat, apparently, or like a double A, and she got implants, I think a C implant. And I remember we were out and she was wearing this lovely floaty top that kind of fell really nicely. She didn't have a bra on, and her boobs were just staying there. I was like, oh, well, she must have some tape on. But later on the evening, she told us that she had a boob job, and I was like, oh, like, Jesus, They look amazing. They looked natural, and she doesn't have to wear a bra at all. They just stay, and she can wear lovely tops. I think another reason why I would like to have smaller boobs is these lovely really lovely dress. Not that I wear dresses.
yeah, irrelevant.
But when you see women in those lovely dresses, those plunge ones, and it's just kind of flat there. Do you know what I mean?
But even I just like seeing
separate.
that. Yeah.
Because they're little, you have that gap. But when they're big, they're instantly just together.
But then someone else will like that. So it's a personal thing, isn't it, I think, with all these things. But I do love with, you know, obviously breast reductions, a lot of people can get that. And I think that's great that they can get that on the NHS. Well, some people can.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends are thinking about having it because they've had kids. And obviously their breasts have, you know, they're breastfed and they've changed. And they just want to feel a bit better about their body post-birth. And I think good for them if they want to do that. But also if you just want to embrace your baby body, that's fine as well. I don't think anyone should feel bad either way for doing it.
Yeah.
Now, another thing, this is more important. Do you check your boobs?
Yeah.
Do you?
I think naturally I do. Yeah. I have a fiddle.
Me and Holly are quite weird. We do this thing called twanging, where we twang up. We call it twang because you twang, twang, twang. We've even sent gifts of each other doing it too. Yeah. But so we do have a fiddle, but I wonder if do you do it the proper medical way?
Yeah, no, I do it with my palm.
Right. Do you do it in the shower? Because they say that's good as well, don't they?
Yeah, well, I guess I do. Yeah, I think I do it quite a lot, and
you don't have to do it on camera, Holly, if you don't want to.
Giving a demonstration.
That's in the next video.
Yeah, and I check under my armpits as well. I think. Yeah, but I think because my mum had a scare a little while ago, I remember going with her for a mammogram. And and I do naturally check them.
I do as well. I think it's something I do when I don't realise I'm doing it half the time. If I'm just in bed just on my own watching telly, I'll just find that I've been fiddling with my boob. But obviously you need to do it in a more concentrated way and check you're doing it properly. But yeah, I haven't ever felt anything suspect yet. But obviously sometimes you do get a fright because during your period they always feel slightly different.
They feel lumpy,
a bit more lumpy and swollen, and sometimes you go, oh, is that something? But usually, you know, it goes down. But I think probably a few of us could check a bit more regularly and probably a bit more.
The pill definitely affects my boobs.
What happened the first time you went on the pill? Because mine just ballooned to a scary extent.
I can't really remember, just because I've been on the pill for a long time, and I don't feel I've been off it enough to see if there's any change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do get bigger when I'm on the pill. Maybe it's a placebo thing, because I did come off the pill for a few months, and I was like, oh, my boobs feel small, but then did they? Maybe not.
Do they get tender, your boobs, when it's your time of the month? Are they a bit sore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just feel heavy. I think that's why I'm trying to do a lot of yoga, to improve my posture, because like you, I naturally kind of slump forward to make them go in. Yeah. But like when the way I should be standing, they just feel like I'm showing the world. But at least with yoga, I'm trying to strengthen my back muscles.
That's a good thing.
Just so when I don't get older, because my nan's boobs, oh my god, they're massive. I just look at them and think, oh god, have I got that to come? Like when my metabolism slows down when I get older, am I just going to have these massive knockers?
But it won't matter because you've done yoga and you'll have such a strong back, you'll be able to maintain the height.
I think, how do you deal with that?
Because you've got to carry around them all day. It's like carrying something quite weighty with you all day.
Sometimes I would love to feel the actual weight. So
Yeah.
sometimes I lean forward and let them fall into my hands and see if I can feel how much they weigh, but I don't think that really works.
I don't think so, huh? So
Like,
don't be trying that at home,
flop
guys.
it onto a scale.
Flop it! Oh, you're not making them sound good there, are you? Place. You place them on delicately.
Flap them onto a scale.
I unfold mine. Unravel them.
Unroll them. I just roll them up, pin them at the top.
Shall we end it on that lovely note so you
Yeah.
can imagine these lovely unravelable tits?
Boobs.
Now, if you want to contribute to this tit discussion, tit chat, that's cool. That's what we're
Tit chat.
Tit chat. Put your comments below. How do you feel about your boobs? What do you wish was different about them? Are you looking out for them? You know, any other questions, Sophie?
Don't think so.
Good.
Check them.
Check them. That's a
Check them.
Yeah, there's lots of informative videos online, so there's no excuses really, and you've got to make the time for that. Anyway, we'll be back in another time period for another. What should we talk about next? Flaps. See you there.